Alrighty, well, what is up, everybody? This is Keith Jameson. I go big guy 231 across the DFS industry, and here to give an early sneak peek. I guess it's not that early, night before, but of the massive main slate on Draftkings tomorrow for college football, September 4th. Official kickoff, but if you've been playing, Thursday was crazy. Tonight's been crazy. Hope you did well. Thursday, I don't think Friday videos are going to happen for those that have DM'd me and asked. Just my schedule, it's just hard. But Thursday is definitely the plan, and then the one on Friday night for Saturday's main slate is the plan as well. So hope you guys are enjoying the football, that you're doing well. Thursday's picks were good. Friday, our cores on FSI, we'll see. They're still in very much TBD status right now at 9:30. And just hoping that Saturday goes well. It's a tough one. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, he's got so many new players. You got like guys returning from years off, or programs returning from years off, and a lot of the purchase. I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna be going through every play today for you. What I'm gonna be doing is kind of just giving you really my favorites. Guys that I think through my research are in good spots, and are guys that I'm planning to target. I do just want to throw like one shout out. Before I do these videos, I do just my own research. I don't look at projections. I don't look at any other articles. Like I look at like beat writers and local newspapers when I'm looking up a guy. But then, Saturday morning, just shout out to, I'm going to say his name wrong, Matt Gajeski from Osmo. I think most of the time it's free, but does an awesome like team by team breakdown from a DFS perspective. And I think that's a great way, if you're using this in conjunction or your own research, just to be able to go through and, confirm some of the things you've seen or get a new take. So shout out to him. Make sure you support that as well. And if you are interested in more help, chat, all that good stuff, make sure you check us out at FSI. For full player core, if you want to look back on Thursday, I shared kind of what that looked like. It is going to be behind the paywall this weekend. But core plays for all the DraftKings slates, so all the showdowns, all the classics, and then a player pool showing, who I think are the best cash plays, GPP, and then my Gators guys, meaning the guys I'm the highest on. All right, who are going to be very much featured in this video. All right, let's get into it. Then also, quick reminder, at the end of this, PrizePicks did not hit Thursday, hit the previous Saturday, so let's go 2-1. All right, let's bring up DraftKings to show us here, and let's just go through the top plays. So I'm not going to go through everybody. So, Spencer Rattler, obviously great play, potentially a Heisman favorite. Ritter, you don't need me to say. I think if I'm going to pay up at quarterback, it's for Bryce Young. Yes, this is his first start for Bama, but he's dual threat. Bama is always going to be just so stacked. We saw Miami Hurricanes at the end of the last season struggled mightily defensively. I would expect that Alabama is going to put Bryce Young in a lot of good positions here. 8,900. I think he's my favorite spend up. Then staying in that game, I think there's some good plays in between here, but I do think that D'Eriq King is really interesting. I don't think that will be a popular play at all, but we know D'Eriq King, very, very dynamic, not only in the air, but with his legs. If you expect Bama to get out in front, then Miami's going to be chasing the game, which could be good for D'Eriq King. The issue, Alabama's defense, always amazing defense. So, it's scary, but I do think D'Eriq King poses some pretty good upside at potentially depressed ownership. I also am a big fan of Tagovailoa. I came close, especially if you do like 1.5 or 2x speed. I probably sound like I knew what I was doing, but we saw Tua's brother. I can't remember his first name. Sorry, but we saw, versus Northwestern was terrible. And then we saw the high versus Minnesota, a good game for Penn State, a little back down to earth against Indiana. All reports are he's tearing up practice. I believe he has been, there was a little bit of controversy at first, but everything I read is he has been named the starter. We know Alabama transfer, ton of pedigree, ton of talent. This game has an okay total. I just left my total sheet in the other room. Give me just 2 seconds. You'll see kind of like a small pause here. Let's see if I can do this right. There we go. Back. So 57 total. Maryland only a 2.5-point dog. There's gonna be a lot of games on the slate. Kind of the reason I'm not big on Rattler, and I should expand on that, is just games should blow out. Like Oklahoma is a 32-point favorite. So how much are they going to risk Rattler at the end? How much is he going to be throwing the ball? All that stuff. So I don't want to, especially in like a really important positions like quarterback, I don't want to risk getting a guy that's, going to throw the ball for a half and then just keep handing it off. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Tagovailoa. And then let's see if there's anybody else. I think below 7,000, I didn't see a lot I liked. I'm hoping maybe I missed somebody, but I do think Penix Jr. coming back, we saw how amazing he was for Indiana before the injury. Supposedly he's back and ready to go. And, Indiana's going to go as Penix goes. When he's having his spike weeks, 40, 29, 29, Indiana is going to be, in playoff contention or at least Big Ten contention. And when he doesn't go, Indiana's going to struggle. So go to the running back position. I think on this slate, you are going to be playing 3 running backs. I just think with so much uncertainty at the receiver position, that's a great way to go in GPP. But in cash, I want 3 running backs. I think I have a lot more certainty at the running back position than I do at wide receiver. So the top, Breece Hall, firm contender for the Heisman this year. He should really be. One of the prize picks I was looking at was maybe Breece Hall, 2 touchdowns over, I think it's over 1.5, which I really like. It didn't make my final list, but I'm a big fan of it. I think that Iowa State, especially at home, is going to try to pound him and get him at least 100 yards and 2 touchdowns for his Heisman candidacy in a game that they should kill Northern Iowa. So big fan of Breece Hall. But I'm going to drop down to 7,400. And Bijan Robinson from Texas, I think I'm a big fan of. Texas is going to be doing 2 quarterbacks. So that kind of signals to me that, when you're playing 2 quarterbacks, it means you have no quarterbacks, right? So they're going to really lean on the run. Robinson in the season, look at that versus Kansas State and Colorado, 10 for 183, 9 for 172. Very, very explosive, 4 touchdowns in that time. Is the starting back for Texas at 7,400, I think is a really, really good play. And a decent total, 58 total, Texas favored by 9. I think the guy on the cover of here, and my favorite running back, let's say, though, is Austin Jones. Look, we know Stanford wants to pound the rock to end the season, 4 straight games, over 20 carries, over 100 yards in 2 of those games. And versus Kansas State, let me find out my sheet. We have a 53 total, should be close. It's a field goal. And I just think Austin Jones, he gives you a little receiving upside too, which I really like. Look at that, 7-3-3-3. That's really nice in college where running backs are not guaranteed to get catches. I just think Austin Jones at 7,200 is too good of a floor with a really nice upside too if he gets a few touchdowns. So Austin Jones, one of my favorite plays on the entire slate. I think Goodson's a great play. Just pull up his logs and you'll notice that. Marks is really interesting for GPP. We've seen Mississippi State guys, Killian Hills last year, and then when he was down, Marks instead getting huge amount of catches. Just the issue there is they're huge favorites, -23. Robinson Jr. from Alabama, I think, is poised to be a breakout candidate all season. It's finally his chance. What do we notice like with Alabama, right? Over and over, whoever the next guy up at running back is like the next first round pick, even if you go back to Trent Richardson days. But yeah, Najee Harris, I'm just completely blanking. Eddie Lacy. Why am I thinking of terrible names? I know there's a running back that I'm missing. I mean, freaking Damian Harris, barely gets drafted, but now is, potentially going to be one of the top fantasy running backs, from like a classic perspective in the NFL. So Alabama is running back university, and Robinson's very much a chance to be the next one. 6,500 for Alabama's number 1, I think is a really good deal. Let me just pull up my little cheat sheet. And then I also want to bring up a guy, and he's one of my favorite PrizePicks plays as well. We'll get to, but Hassan Haskins from Michigan. This is actually one of the better totals on the slate. It's a 67 total, Michigan by 17, which means Haskins should be getting, hopefully 20 carries. In the last 2 games of the season, when he got 22 and 17 carries, he rewarded us with 100 plus yards and touchdowns in each game. So I think Hassan Haskins, especially at 6,200, I was expecting him at 75. 6,200, really, really nice deal. One GPP play I just want to throw out there is back to Bama. I just think that game really sets up well, 61 total. Bama, should be ahead. They're a 19-point favorite. Miami could be a little bit frisky, especially in Miami. But Jason McClellan, huge upside and explosiveness. He is the number 2. So especially if that game gets out of hand, potentially we get some mop-up duty for Jason McClellan. Wide receiver, holy crap, there is a ton of them. Good luck ciphering through them. Let me give you my a few favorites. Obviously at the top, you can't go wrong with Mechie, Mims. Probably those are the only 2 I'd really be on. Dotson obviously had a great year last year. I would not be on Sorensen versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense is supposed to be really good. I just think with you spending potentially up at quarterback and up at running back, it's really tough to spend up at wide receiver. So we're going to be looking at that 6,000 range. And I think Cropper is potentially the best of the bunch. Fresno State should be behind versus Oregon. Cropper was a mammoth last season. As you can see, the last 3 games of the season, 10, 7, and 12 catches. Fresno State is very, very unscared to throw the ball a ton. So I think at 6,100 and a good game script for wide receiver, Cropper makes a ton of sense. I love Sky Moore. Back to our MAC, Tuesday and Thursday days. Sky Moore is one of the best receivers in the MAC conference. Ended the season on a hot streak, should be the number 1 for Western Michigan. And again, a game where the game script is really good for us, right? 17-point favorite Michigan, 67 total. So Western Michigan should be throwing the ball a ton. So I like Sky Moore. I'm trying to take a look here. There's a lot of other wide receivers in that range. I mean, just look through your game logs. I would really focus on the games that have good scripts for passing, high totals. Maybe even looking, if you're going to go to a high total that has Michigan 17-point favorite, maybe look at the Eastern Michigan pieces. But I want to give you a couple punts to look at to make this all work. So there's 3 guys I want to highlight, all freshmen, which is why they're cheap. So JoJo Earl, if you Google, and I'm not a Bama fan, by the way. You think I'm a Bama homer after all the Bama love I'm giving. But JoJo Earl, I saw comparisons to Jalen Waddle, to Percy Harvin. They love the kid. They supposedly have a number of gadget plays. 4,000. He's going to get on the field a ton. They're going to get him some touches. I expect like 5 to 6 touches, whether it's carries or catches. And he's supposed to be explosive. So JoJo Earl, 4,000. Maybe not a cash play, but GPP, absolutely. And then 2 stone minimum players. Let me make sure I can find it. We got from Oregon and from Oklahoma. So the first is, it stinks when there's like no logs at all to help you. You just have tons of names. Should be, there we go. So Mario Williams. Mario Williams is considered a starter. So Oklahoma does a lot of these like co-starter designations, but was also named to the All-American freshman team because of how well he exploded in camp and all of the reviews. So he said 3,000. We know Oklahoma is still going to try to get numbers for Rattler in his Heisman quest. Mario Williams at 3,000. I mean, look, we're not looking for much, right? 3 catches, 60 yards, you're there. Get a touchdown, boom, you're crushing it. So I think, and it's really, the more I play with construction, getting 1 punt makes a huge difference of the overall just niceness of your lineup. So I'm definitely going to be using a punt. Mario Williams, I think, could catch a lot of steam and cash. The other guy is from Oregon. Let me get the right name. Williams. I'll have all these names down by the end of the year. It's so weird getting back to it. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. My bad. Oh, it's Franklin. My bad. Come on. So Troy Franklin, again, another guy that's just, if you read reports, has just been killing it in camp. He's been named a starting wide receiver. Again, in a positive game. We have a 64 total. Oregon's, minus 21 favorite. So, we'd love them as like 20-point dog. We'll know that they're going to pass the ball a ton. But Oregon is still going to pass. Troy Franklin's 3,000. Much like we just talked about Williams. All you need is a couple catches. And if you get a touchdown, it's gravy. So I think Troy Franklin makes a ton of sense as well. Phew, that was a lot. I hope that it helps. I know I was a little scattered. We'll work into this. By week 3, I'll have it down. I won't be like stumbling over names. We'll have some game logs. We'll have snap counts, all that stuff that makes this a lot easier. But week 1 is tough. So, enjoy it, mix things up. If you think a guy's going to be too popular, that's a great fade. I was talking with one of our members that's new to college football. I was just asking, if one guy goes off, are you done? No, you're not. The coolest thing about college with these 13, 14 game sets is, unless it's like the guy from Buffalo last year, I said Patterson. I think it was Patterson. Did like 95 in a game. I think it was a bowl game. Like, okay, you have to have him to cash, right? But there's so many games to make up. So don't be freaked out if a really popular guy gets 2 touchdowns and 25 DK. You can make up that. All right, let's jump to PrizePicks. If you don't know PrizePicks, you want to know PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a phenomenal way to not only follow your lineups, but to have a different spin on it. It's props. You pick 2 props over under. You get paid 3 times. So you don't have to win every bet. 1 out of 2 bets, you're profitable. So love PrizePicks again. We're 1-on-1, 1-and-1. Let's go 2-1. Let me get over there and I will show you where I'm looking. So we talked. Oh, I did end up doing a Breece Hall. All right. So Hassan Haskins, 72.5 yards. It's just way too low, like way too low. So get that locked in as soon as you can, because I think by the morning that line might be closer to like 85 to 90. And then Breece Hall, I kind of mentioned that they're at home. Breece Hall is very much a Heisman contender, and they're going to want to get him his numbers, especially in games where you can get it. So Breece Hall over 1.5 touchdowns. I think it's going to be 2 touchdowns, if not 3. Again, go to power play, 25 to 175. You're rocking and rolling. Let me go ahead and get this in here right now. Look how easy that was. And we're on the board. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. And just a quick reminder, PrizePicks, so bad at advertising. Promo code FSI, 100% match up to $100. So play that, get up to 300. You're rocking and rolling. Thank you all for watching. Once again, like, subscribe, comment, all really helps. And good luck tomorrow. See you.